This is the simple theory that helped rebuild my confidence. Hello and welcome. My name's Nafisa, and I help Black and brown women in periods of transition use rebellion as a tool to reclaim their time and energy for their own dreams. So when I was a lot younger, British television used to have the most random documentaries and TV shows, and I used to spend hours watching them. And I remember watching this TV show about man's best friend, the dog. And I'm not a dog lover myself, but there are a couple of things that I remember from this documentary. And one of the things is that it was when I first came across the concept of a dog whistle. There's a type of whistle that has a frequency of sound that, if blown, dogs in the area could hear and respond to, but that we as humans wouldn't be able to hear. And that concept blew my mind because that let me know that dogs had access to information that humans didn't. That even though as humans we were under the impression that we owned dogs, dogs could have access to information that we couldn't have access to. And I really internalized that information as a child because, as I said, I'm not a dog lover. I'd be really cautious of dogs, when they were trying to approach me. I'd see them acting erratically sometimes, and the owner would say, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's gotten into him." And in my mind, I would think, of course you don't know what's gotten into him because you don't even know what he's listening to. You don't know what this dog can hear that you can't. They could be tuned into a whole nother radio station, getting instructions from somewhere else. And you wouldn't know that because you can't access the frequency of sound that this dog can access. Okay, so if dogs have access to this information that humans don't have access to, then what else is going on that humans don't have access to? What can the other animals hear and read and smell and taste and touch and be in relationship with that humans don't even know is happening? What about the trees? What about the big bodies of water? What about the fish in the sea? What else is going on that humans don't know about? And so I know the term dog whistle is used in a political context quite a lot, but throughout this video, my reference to the dog whistle is the original dog whistle, literally the sound frequency, the whistle that dogs can hear but humans can't. So the concept of a dog whistle has impressed me since I found out about it back then when I was a child. But when I went through my rebellion, the concept of a dog whistle started to mean so much more to me, so much so that I gave it its own title, the dog whistle theory. And here's why. Sometimes the thought of us going for our own dreams or rebelling against a life that doesn't fit for us gets killed by what we perceive to be reality. And I know this is especially the case for so many of us Black and brown women because there are so many perceived barriers to our basic goals, let alone our wildest dreams, our race and our gender alone. And that's before we get to the dozens of intersectionalities that make those barriers even more complex. We tend to go by what we can see, taste, hear, smell, touch, and allow that version of reality to be our limit. And based on that reality, we kill our dreams and tell ourselves what isn't possible for us before we've even had a chance to try. So it becomes so easy to dismiss our dreams and our desires as unrealistic. It's easy to be capped by our lived experiences and the lived experiences of those around us. But having the dog whistle theory in the forefront of my mind since my rebellion started has given me so much audacity because it's based on the idea that I don't know what's working in my favor. I don't know what's happening around me, what magic is taking place that is working for my benefit. I don't know about how the elements are conspiring together to make my dreams come true each time I take a step, because I don't even have access to the information that I'm surrounded by. So on that basis, who am I to count myself out? Just like the dog whistle illustrates, there are things happening around us and for us that we don't even have the capacity to comprehend. Sounds we can't hear, colours we can't see, beings that we can't communicate with in the same way that we can communicate with other human beings. But the fact is that we're surrounded by it, we're sharing this world with it, and we are constantly in a communication with it and in a relationship with it, whether we're aware of it or not. And it's all having an impact on our world and on our reality, regardless. And if you're a religious or spiritual person, the idea that there are things happening around you that you can't see or comprehend probably isn't foreign to you, because it's what your beliefs are rooted in. But the thing about going through difficult transitions in life is that sometimes belief is too big an ask. Sometimes our belief looks different at different stages of that transition. And so we may not believe in things the way that we used to, or we may start to question our beliefs or our faith. And that's where the dog whistle for me was so sturdy, because it was rooted in fact. It didn't matter what my belief was. The fact was that, or the fact is, should I say, that there are things happening that I don't have access to. There are sounds that dogs can hear that I can't hear. And so the dog whistle theory doesn't require your belief, because with or without your belief, it just is. And that's why it can be perfect for times when you're going through transition, or times when you're maybe questioning your belief or not feeling as strong in your belief as you usually are, because it's rooted in something that can't be argued with. It proves that there are things that exist beyond the realm of human comprehension, let alone control. Things that are not bound by the same systems of oppression or limitation that govern reality as we know it. The reality that I know within the scope of my human comprehension is not the only reality that can exist. Likewise, the reality that other humans know is not the only reality that can exist. And so I don't have the right to tell myself what is and isn't realistic for me, and neither does another human being. None of us have the capacity to understand the full scope of reality. So that's how I've been able to use my dog whistle theory as a foundation for my rebellion against my own limiting beliefs. And in doing so, I've been able to rebuild my confidence. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. What do you think about the dog whistle theory? What areas of your life are being governed by your limiting beliefs, or maybe by the limiting beliefs of others? And how might the dog whistle theory help you to rebel against those beliefs? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you again soon.